Hi there, I'm Kate McClellan, and I've been a professional wedding planner for over 20 years now. I started Planning Collective when I noticed that though most couples are super excited about getting engaged, they quickly feel overwhelmed and intimidated by the actual process of planning their weddings. If left unchecked, this can lead to massive burnout and the urge to scrap all your plans and just elope. While this is totally normal, you don't have to sacrifice your sanity for your dream wedding. In the Wedding Planning Collective podcast, I'm going to share the processes, tips, and tools that all engaged couples like you need to feel confident, supported, and excited about your wedding plans again. Let's get started. Hey there, before we get to the episode, I have a quick question for you. Have you been unsuccessfully trying to shake that feeling that you're forgetting something when it comes to your wedding? You've got the Knot app and you've downloaded countless other planning checklists, but you just can't get rid of that sneaking suspicion that there's something you don't know yet. It's a very common feeling when it comes to wedding planning. So much so that I decided to put together a free resource to help get rid of what I call FOWO, the fear of wedding oversight. Yes, it does include that 12-month task checklist, but that's just the start. In addition to the ultimate wedding planning checklist, my new Don't Forget list also includes a wedding vendor checklist, your shopping list, a packing list for the wedding weekend, and a complete wedding item setup list to make sure that you are truly not forgetting anything when it comes to your wedding. And you heard me right, this list is free for you to grab right now. Just head over to planningcollective.com/forgetting and it's all yours. That's planningcollective.com/FORGETTING, and let's get rid of that FOWO together. All right, let's get on to the episode. Hey guys, Kate here. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Planning Collective podcast. If you typically watch these on YouTube, my apologies. I am repainting my office and it's just a little bit too chaotic to do the next couple episodes via video. But don't worry, I still have the audio episodes here and I'll make sure that we get the audio over on YouTube as well. For today's episode, I want to talk about a recent conversation that I had with clients, and it made me realize that we haven't covered the topic of engagement photos in a while. Now, you might be thinking, do I really need to take engagement photos, or aren't they just for save the dates? Well, those are definitely great reasons to get engagement photos done. Today, I want to talk about one of the hidden reasons that I highly recommend all couples schedule engagement photos if possible. And trust me, it's one that most couples don't even think about until after they take the photos. So whether you're still on the fence about doing engagement photos or you're looking for ways to make the most out of them, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. First things first, let's talk about what engagement photos actually are. An engagement photo session is a time for you and your fiance to take some formal or informal photos before the wedding. You can have your photographer take them, or even a friend with a good camera or a good camera phone if you're on a budget. Typically, engagement sessions happen around 6 months before the wedding, though some couples take them further out and some take them closer to the wedding. The timing really depends on your wedding planning timeline and how you intend to use the photos. So while you're shopping for photographers, make sure that you're asking if they include engagement photo sessions in their package, or if it's something that you would need to add on. Now, I did say that you can have somebody other than your photographer take your engagement photos, but I do highly recommend you have your actual wedding photographer take your photos if possible, and I'll explain why in a moment. But first, let's go over the most common ways that couples will use their engagement photos. Engagement photos are much more versatile than your wedding photos will be. There are so many fun ways that you can incorporate them into your wedding plans and even use post-wedding. Here are some of the most popular ways that I see couples using engagement photos. The main one is on their save the dates. This is probably the most common reason why couples will opt for engagement photos. A beautiful photo of the two of you makes for a great first impression when you're announcing your wedding date to your guests. Plus, let's be honest, it looks way better on the fridge than just plain text. Number 2, your wedding website. This will be the hub of all of your information for your guests, and adding engagement photos helps make it feel more personal. Plus, if some of your guests haven't met your fiance yet, or you haven't met some of their guests, it's a great way to introduce yourselves as a couple. Number 3, wedding decor. Many couples will display their engagement photos at their wedding, whether it's framed at the entrance, incorporated into your guest book, or even part of a slideshow during the reception. You can use websites like Shutterfly or Canva to customize guest books that will incorporate these engagement photos, which I love and I think have a higher probability of being displayed after the wedding than just a blank page guest book. And number 4, home decor after the wedding. Not every couple has professional photos taken outside of the wedding day. So engagement photos are a great opportunity to get beautiful, high-quality images of the two of you without the formal wedding attire. I don't know if there's any Vanderpump Rules fans out here, but remember when Sheena Shea got married for the first time and that next season her wedding photos were all over their apartment? While it's certainly fun to show off your wedding photos, sometimes it's nice to have a mix in there of photos of the two of you that aren't solely focused around the wedding. Now, here's the real reason that I highly recommend all couples do an engagement photo session, even if you're not planning on using them in any of the ways we just discussed. And that is, it's like a practice run for your wedding day photos. Let's be honest, most of us feel a little bit awkward in front of the camera. I certainly do. Taking engagement photos with your wedding photographer gives you a chance to get comfortable being photographed before your big day. You'll also get a feel for how your photographer directs you and what poses feel most natural. Looking back on the photos, you can also see which poses you like more than the others so that you can focus on doing more of that on your wedding day. So doing engagement photos means that by the time your wedding day rolls around, you'll already know what to expect, making a potentially uncomfortable process much smoother and much less stressful. Photographers love engagement sessions too because it gives them a chance to learn your comfort level and what types of photos you prefer. Think of it like a hair and makeup trial. Most brides wouldn't skip a trial run before their wedding, and your engagement session serves a similar purpose. Just like a hair and makeup trial, you're not using your engagement sessions to test out your photographer, but again, more as a practice session so you feel more comfortable and you know what you're doing on your wedding day. Let's talk about how to personalize your engagement session. Another great reason to do engagement sessions, it allows you to capture moments and people or things that may not be a part of your actual wedding day. Here are some fun ideas. First, choose a meaningful location. Pick a spot that's special to your relationship. Maybe it's a coffee shop where you had your first date, the park where you got engaged, or even just a place that you love spending time together. Think of including your pets, especially if your furry friends won't be able to be at the wedding. An engagement session is the perfect opportunity to get professional photos with them. You can also think about including other family and friends. Some couples use engagement sessions as a chance to update their family portraits or include loved ones who won't be present on the wedding day. And finally, play with outfit changes. Unlike your wedding day, where you'll be in formal attire most of the time, your engagement session is a great time to mix things up. You can bring a couple of different outfits to capture a variety of different styles so that you have a variety of different photos to use in different ways. So as we're wrapping things up, I'd love to know if you're planning on doing an engagement session before your wedding. If you weren't convinced before, I hope this episode helped you see why it is such a valuable part of the process. I'd love to hear what you think. Come join the conversation in the Wedding Planning Collective Facebook group, and let me know if you're planning on doing an engagement session and how you're planning to use those photos at your wedding. And if you found this episode helpful, I would absolutely love it if you could take a quick second to leave a review. Not only does it mean the world to me, but it will help more couples get the planning help that they need. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.